Okay, so the topic of this video is going to be chromosomes. What are they? The basics of them, their structure. So what you see in the picture, these kind of rainbow colored ghostly images, these are highly magnified pictures of chromosomes. So let's go ahead and learn more about them. So when we look at a chromosome, if we look at a quick definition, it's simply just a tightly coiled ball of DNA that just so happens to resemble the letter X. Now we're going to go into more details on that in just a moment. But chromosomes form, like you see in the animation, when a cell splits. When one cell splits into two, well, that's when chromosomes form. You might know the cell division process called mitosis. Well, that's where cells split in half. And during the process of mitosis is when chromosomes form. Now, this video is not going to discuss the steps of mitosis. I have another video for that if you wish. But that's when chromosomes are formed, is during the mitosis process, when chromosomes are, or excuse me, during the mitosis process when cells are dividing. So there's two parts to a chromosome, and here we have just a very standard drawing of an X-shaped chromosome. All chromosomes are pretty much X-shaped. You're even going to hear of the chromosome known as the Y chromosome. It too is X-shaped. Well, there's a reason chromosomes generally have an X shape to them, because there's two halves to them. There's a left half and a right half, and we call these two halves chromatids. Like you see in the picture, there's a left chromatid and there's a right chromatid. Now there's also a location in the middle where the two chromatids connect with one another. That's the second part I want to mention, called the centromere. And so when the two chromatids overlap with one another, you get this X-shaped appearance. Now, the centromere is not always in the middle. Sometimes it's near the top, sometimes it's in the bottom, sometimes it's lower down. But that's generally, the diagram right there is what you see for a general structure of a chromosome. Well, when we see pictures like this, these are two pictures of what is called a karyotype, and these are pictures of a bunch of chromosomes. A karyotype is a picture of an individual's chromosomes that they possess inside of their cells. And the reason we might want to obtain a picture of a person's chromosomes is it helps to identify the gender of a person, and it helps to, but more importantly, it helps to identify if a person has any chromosome defects. You know, there's other ways to figure out the gender of a person, but when you're trying to diagnose and identify a possible chromosome disorder, it helps to have a picture of a person's chromosomes. Well, first of all, let's look at how we determine the gender of the individual first. When you look at this karyotype, you see that the chromosomes are numbered. Chromosome number 1 is bigger, chromosome 2 is a little smaller, chromosome 3 is a little smaller, chromosome 4 is a little smaller, and all the way down. And then we get to the final pair, and these are called the sex chromosomes. And what we're going to look at, notice the flashing yellow box. I have that flashing yellow box surrounding what is known as the XX chromosome combination. Whenever you see the final pair of chromosomes that are equally sized, look in that picture right there in the flashing yellow box, those two green chromosomes are equally sized. That's what we call the XX chromosome combination, and that identifies that the gender of the person is a female. Well, look at the bottom karyotype. Notice the flashing yellow box. We see a large X chromosome and a short stubby Y chromosome. This is what we call the XY combination. Whenever the chromosome, the final pair of chromosomes differ in size, this is what we call the XY chromosome combination, and this is going to identify a male. And so whether it's a male human, whether it's a female human, a genetically normal, a chromosomal normal human being is going to have 46 chromosomes. We're going to talk more about that as this video goes on. So the reason for this picture is, this picture again shows a karyotype, and it shows that humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Chromosomes 1 through 22 in the picture are labeled autosomes. And then you have the 23rd chromosome, which is labeled the sex chromosomes. So in humans, Chromosome 23 determines our gender, determines our sex. The other chromosomes, chromosome 1 through 22, these are called autosomes, and these help determine other traits besides gender. So the gene for hair color, the gene for height, the gene for your blood type, these are on the other chromosomes. These are on the autosomes. But whether or not you're going to be male or female, that's on chromosome 23, the sex chromosomes. Well, here we have a doctor performing a ultrasound on a pregnant woman. And the doctor says, you know, I'm seeing something that concerns me a little bit. I think we should consider a karyotype. And the soon-to-be mother says, oh no, is it serious? Well, the doctor says, you know, it's hard to know. Once we examine the baby's chromosomes, we'll have more information. So during the normal ultrasound procedure, if the doctor identifies something abnormal, perhaps they're going to want to examine the chromosomes of the baby. But how do you get the chromosomes of the baby? After all, the baby's not born yet. Well, here's what you would do. The doctor might say, I'm going to insert this needle into the womb and suck up some of the fluid. Inside of that fluid, of course, the doctor is going to be very careful not to poke the baby with the needle, but inside of that amniotic fluid are going to be cells that the baby has shed. And then we can suck up those cells and analyze the chromosomes in those cells. So now that the doctor has sucked up some of that fluid, the cells that are in that fluid that came from the baby can now be examined. So now that cells have been obtained, chromosomes can be seen in photographed underneath a microscope. And so here we have a microscopic picture of what the chromosomes might look like. Now, notice nothing is orderly, nothing is organized. The chromosomes are all just kind of randomly scattered in this picture. However, look what the lab technician can do. The lab technician will simply match and arrange the chromosomes into pairs. There's 2 chromosome number 8s. The lab technician will kind of organize them next to one another. 2 chromosome 15s, 2 chromosome 20s. And so now the karyotype can be analyzed to see if something is wrong. Let's show you an example of what some karyotypes might look like if there are errors. Here's a chromosome condition known as Down syndrome. This is a karyotype showing a boy, a male, with Down syndrome. So if I were to ask you, first of all, to look over the chromosomes and find something that doesn't look right, find something that's wrong, I hope your eye stops on chromosome number 21. If you look at chromosome number 21, notice how there are 3 chromosome 21s. That's not normal. There's only supposed to be 2 chromosome 21s because we have 2 parents. You're supposed to inherit 1 chromosome from mom and 1 chromosome from dad for a total of 2 chromosome 21s. This person has 3. Now, this video is not going to discuss, some of the physical features and symptoms and diagnosis and prognosis for Down syndrome. If you want to learn that, you can search YouTube for other videos. But if I were to ask you to write the notation, the chromosomal notation for Down syndrome, well, the first thing you're going to write is how many total chromosomes does the person have? Well, a normal person has 46, but this person has 1 extra for a total of 47. The second thing you're going to tell me is what sex chromosomes do they have? Well, that depends on if it's a male or female. If it's a male, it has the XY. If it's a female, it has the XX. In this example, you can see the XY. And the third thing you're going to tell me is what's missing or what's extra. Well, this person's not missing any chromosomes. This person has an extra chromosome 21, and that's what the plus sign means. The plus means they have an additional 21st chromosome. If they were missing a 21st chromosome, it wouldn't be a plus sign, it'd be a minus sign. So there's a few examples I want you to try on your own. So if we were in class, I would give you and your neighbor 30 seconds to discuss this. Go ahead and try to figure out the notation for Turner's syndrome. Pause the video. I'm going to show the answer in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there's where the error is. This woman, and it is a woman because there's no Y chromosome, But this woman only has one X chromosome. So I hope you wrote this for the notation. 45 means they have 45 total chromosomes. You could either do a single X like you see on top or an X with a 0 like you see on the bottom. And then the last thing is, again, what's missing or what's extra. In this case, they're missing a chromosome 23, so minus 23. Again, if we were in class, I would have you work on this with a neighbor. Write the notation for Patau's syndrome. Pause the video. I'm going to go over the answer in 3, 2, 1. So I hope you found the error. Chromosome 13. There's not supposed to be 3 chromosome 13s. There's only supposed to be 2. And so I hope you said 47 because this person has one extra chromosome. I hope you said XY because this person is a male. And I hope you said plus 13. The plus means extra chromosome 13. Alright, here's the last one I want you to try. Again, pause the video and write the notation for Klinefelters syndrome. I'm going to go over the answer in 3, 2, 1. So there's the error. There's where the mistake is. Chromosome 23. And I hope for the notation you said this right here, 47 XXY plus 23. 47 means that this person has 47 total chromosomes. XXY tells me the sex chromosomes that the person has. The plus means they have an extra, and the 23 means they have an extra chromosome 23. Again, this video is not really going to discuss all the symptoms and the prognosis of living with Klinefelter syndrome or some of those other ones. If you're interested, pause the video and do a quick search of some of the other ones. So let's get back to the notes here. There's two big broad categories of cells that are known as diploid cells and haploid cells. When we look at this picture, this is a karyotype of a diploid cell. And what diploid cells are is they are cells with the full or the complete set of chromosomes. Notice how there's 2 chromosome 1s and 2 chromosome 2s and 2 chromosome 3s. 2 of everything because we have 2 parents. You inherit 1 chromosome number 1 from your mother, 1 chromosome number 1 from your father. And so in diploid cells, when you examine a karyotype, the chromosomes are paired. 2 chromosome 10s, 2 chromosome 20s. And so in humans, now not every species has 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46, but that's the human normal chromosome number. 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46. Diploid cells are also in a category of what is called somatic cells. Somatic means that they are non-sex cells. So diploid are non-sex cells. Somatic cells are diploid, diploid are somatic. And examples of non-sex diploid cells: skin cells, muscle cells, nerve cells, red blood cells, white blood cells, brain cells. The vast majority of your body is made up of somatic, non-sex diploid cells. These are the cells that divide by the process known as mitosis. Again, this video is not going to go into mitosis. I have another one if you want to watch that. But in general, I want you to know these truths about diploid cells. Watch how the picture changes. Watch how the picture changes because I'm going to show you what a haploid karyotype looks like. Watch how the picture changes. Watch 3, 2, 1. I hope you see a big difference between the picture on the previous slide and this one. This picture shows haploid cells. Haploid cells only have half the total number of chromosomes. The chromosomes are not arranged in pairs. And haploid cells are what we call gametes. Gametes are sex cells. And gametes are the only cells that are haploid. In animals, we're talking about sperm cells and egg cells. In plants, you could throw in pollen to that discussion. But notice how in chromosome 11, there's only one chromosome 11. Chromosome 9, there's only one chromosome 9. So gametes, which are sex cells, sperm and egg, are haploid. Sperm and egg cells are created, and pollen, sperm, egg, pollen, these are cells that are created by meiosis. during the process of meiosis, the chromosome number is reduced by half. That means during the process of meiosis, a sperm cell will start with 46 chromosomes, but be reduced to 23 chromosomes. We're going to go over that in just a moment. So here we have a silhouette of a man and a woman. And it says, how do humans get 46 total chromosomes? Well, I have 46 chromosomes, and if you're watching this video, chances are you have 46 chromosomes also. How did we get 46 chromosomes? Well, in mom's ovaries, she has a bunch of egg cells. And every egg cell contains 23 chromosomes. Egg cells are haploid. In dad's testes are millions and millions of sperm cells, and each sperm cell is haploid and has 23 chromosomes. So on that one magical night, when the egg and sperm get together, they fuse, and that creates, over the course of 9 months, a child. So here we have a silhouette of a child saying, I'm half mom and half dad. So that's how humans get our 46 chromosomes. Well, if we kind of take a moment and be a little silly here, here we have a sperm cell, and the title says that one magical night, sperm cell finds the egg cell. Fertilization occurs. So here we have a little drawing of a female egg cell with 23 chromosomes in the nucleus. And swarming that female egg cell, here we have 5 sperm cells. There's 23 chromosomes in the nucleus of that first sperm cell on top, 23 chromosomes in that other nucleus of the sperm cell, 23 in that sperm, 23 in that sperm. All the sperm cells have 23 chromosomes. But only one sperm cell is actually going to fertilize that female egg cell. So watch our animation. In our animation, only the head of the sperm cell enters and then fuses with the nucleus. So the 23 chromosomes in the nucleus of the egg fuse with the 23 chromosomes in the nucleus of the sperm. And that creates a fertilized egg by the name of a zygote. So a zygote marks the beginning of all of our lives, a 46 chromosome cell known as a zygote. Well, over the course of 9 months, that zygote's going to divide by mitosis. So watch our animation. Here's our one fertilized egg, known as a zygote, divides into 2. The 2 cells become 4. The 4 cells become 8, each of them with 46 chromosomes. The 8 becomes 16, 16 becomes 32, and so on and so on. 9 months later, a baby is born. But again, how did that child get 46 chromosomes? 23 from mom's egg cell, 23 from dad's sperm cell. So here we have just a nice side-by-side compare and contrast. Pause the video if you want a chance to look at this in more detail. A diploid karyotype on the left, where the chromosomes are in pairs, and a haploid karyotype on the right, where the chromosomes are just singles. So as we wind down this video, if we were in class, I would have you turn with your neighbor and try to answer these 6 questions right here. But pause the video. I'm going to go over the answer. I want you to analyze this karyotype of a rat. Notice there are 21 pairs of chromosomes. Rats have 21 pairs of chromosomes. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. But answer these 6 questions. I'm going to go over the answer in 3, 2, 1. So I hope you can see the gender of this rat. It's a female. Number 2, the number of chromosomes in a somatic cell. Somatic cells are diploid. Diploid means the complete set. Well, if there's 21 pairs, the complete set is 42 chromosomes. How many in a skin cell? 42, because skin cells are examples of somatic. Number 4, how many in a gamete? I hope you said 21. Gametes are haploid. The definition of haploid means cells with half the total number of chromosomes. 21 is half of 42. Number 5, how many in a diploid cell? I hope you said 42, because diploid cells are somatic, somatic cells are diploid. And finally, number 6, in a sperm cell. Now I know this is a picture of a female rat. But if males and females, we have the same chromosome numbers. A human male, a human female, we each have the same chromosome numbers. Same with rats. So rat species, they will have 21 chromosomes in their sperm cells. Let's try another one of these. Here's a gorilla karyotype. So same type of questions from just a moment ago. Pause the video and try to answer these 6 questions. Notice that gorillas have 24 pairs of chromosomes. I'm going to go over the answer in 3, 2, 1. So first of all, I hope you can see it's a male, but I didn't ask you in this grouping of questions. But number 1, the number of chromosomes in a haploid cell. I hope you said 24. Because haploid means half the amount. Well, if there's 24 pairs, like the picture shows, that's a total of 48 chromosomes. Half of 48 is 24. Number 2, how many in a gamete? A gamete is a haploid cell. Gametes are haploid. Haploid cells are gametes. So again, it's the same question, just worded differently, number 1 and number 2. Number 3, how many chromosomes in a muscle cell? Muscle cells are examples of diploid somatic cells, which means they have the complete full amount. 24 pairs is a total of 48 chromosomes. How about number 4, in a zygote? Zygotes are diploid. Zygote is formed from a sperm combining with an egg. So you add the sperm, add the egg together, you get a diploid zygote. Zygotes are diploid. In this case, it's 48. Number 5, in an egg cell. Egg cells are haploid. Again, I know that this picture shows a male, but still, again, female gorillas also have 48 chromosomes, and in their egg cells would be 24 chromosomes. Number 6, how many in a somatic cell? Well, that's really the same question as number 3. A muscle cell is a somatic cell. So number 3 and number 6 are really the same question, just worded differently. Somatic cells are diploid and have the full amount of chromosomes. So as we wind down again, pause the video and try to answer these questions. Now there's actually 1 through 7 right here, but in a moment there's a few more questions on the Kobe quiz here. So go ahead and pause the video. Try to answer these questions. If you're in my biology class, bring your answers to me before school or after school. I'd be happy to check them for accuracy. Here's 1 through 7. Pause the video, but I'm going to show you here's the rest now. So here's the rest of the questions, number 8 through 12. Again, pause the video and try to work these out, and good luck.